QuickBooks has made it particularly easy to create a budget in the most recent versions. Let's go to our company list and go down to Planning and Budgeting. Simply going to go over to Set up a Budget, and you'll see that it brings me to a screen automatically. Now the nice part is I can set a number of years' budgets. To create a brand new budget, I'll simply create a new budget. You'll notice that I can choose a budget based on the profit and loss or based on the balance sheet. Let's go with the profit and loss. When I go to the next screen, it wants to know, should I consider customers, should I look at classes, or do I just want to go with a straight budget? Let's go with a straight budget. On the following screen, it tells me that I can use the existing data if I want to. When I say finish, you'll notice it pulls in prior information. Now the idea here is that it looks at what we have done in the past and averages it out per month. However, one of the difficulties that we have to watch with budgeting is that we really want to show the true cost drivers for the expenses. It's very important to analyze each of these numbers now and determine, will that happen in the upcoming year? Traditionally, we'll look at each of our months and we'll predict whether or not these numbers will hold true to the following year. If, for instance, last year in January I had an unusual event, I would need to adjust my numbers downwards. If I find an area that appears to be incorrect altogether, I can just go in and I can fill in the blanks. Now remember, a budget does not need to have dollars and cents. Remember, the idea here is to set goals for our performance for the upcoming year. The true idea here of the budget is to align our activities with the strategy that we set forth in this budget. The concept is to provide for an early warning system when things go wrong. If, for instance, I traditionally spend $50 a month on disability insurance and all of a sudden it triples, I will need to either increase my income or decrease costs in other areas to stay on budget. The concept here is to assure that our decisions are being implemented as intended and that we are aligning ourselves with the strategy and objectives of the organization. A good portion of budgeting is also for cash flow, to ensure that we have the monies that we need at the end of the year. Now, in any instance where items are not set, I can very easily fill in the budget for the year. Let's take, for instance, dues and subscriptions. I'm going to type in $50 in January. I'm anticipating this to be a payment I make each month, so I will copy across. When I do, you notice that it's filled in $50 across each line. If I anticipate freight and delivery to be $125 a month, I can do the same thing. Type it in and copy it across. In a number that's already taken, I can actually adjust it by using the same technique. You'll notice that it cleared any numbers that were in there. The idea is to use the previous numbers to give me an idea of where I need to be. Then, if I'd like to set the budget for repairs and maintenance, I can automatically go in and I can copy it across. If I want to adjust the row amount, I can adjust the row amount also. In this instance, I can give myself a good feel of what I anticipate in the upcoming years. Remember also, when you're going to banks for loans, when you're looking at different investors, budgets are almost always required. Get in the habit of setting a budget early, do it consistently, and review it every month. In QuickBooks, we have a number of reports that will allow us to actually look at our budget overview and our budget versus performance. You'll notice that if I go to a budget overview, it will allow me to summarize my account balances. The screen will take me through asking if I'd like it by month or if I'd like it for the year. I'm going to simply finish. Let's collapse so it's easier to see, and I can see my budget that I've just set for the period of time. If I go back up to reports, once again down to budgets, this time I can look at my budget versus actual. In this case, as I go through the screen, it will actually show me my performance figures against my budget and then let me know exactly how my results are coming out. It's very important to keep this information in your mind at any time. It'll help you go through and track problems, but it'll also help us go through those bumpy stretches where we need to tighten down the hatches and make sure we have enough cash flow to keep us afloat.